We're very honored because we have Nela here, Nela Riehl, who's the chair of the Culture and Education Committee. Can you tell us a bit about your everyday life as a member of the European Parliament?
Yeah, sure. It's crazy. I've been a member now for, I think, 3 months only. So I'm very new to Parliament and every day is different. That's why I just laughed. I was like, well, it's just insane. Like I got to meet really cool people like from all over the world and talk culture, talk education, talk youth, which also is like a topic of my committee, which I'm like very passionate about, and also sports, which we shouldn't forget. So a usual day, there's no really usual day. I like go to the office and then I'm in meetings. I chair the committee, which means I'm sitting in front and there's like my committee members and like one sitting takes like 3 hours. So we have hearings, we discuss about like laws in Europe. Then there's some meetings again. Then there's some cool stuff like this. Yeah, so it's very different every day.
You always hear member of the European Parliament and you're trying to think, okay, so what do they do every day? So that's very insightful. Okay, so you've been a teacher before. And as I told you before the interview, I really have a sympathy towards teachers because I think they shaped who I am today. How being a teacher influenced your goals as the chair of the Culture and Education Committee?
Well, actually, I've been a teacher until July this year. As I said, I'm very new to the Parliament. And I was a high school teacher, so I discussed politics, but also climate change and social justice with my students. And they were like, Miss Riehl, you have to do something about it. You know, you have to you are telling us about it, but you don't actually do something about it. And that's how I actually got started. So they were, not only them, also my own kids. I'm a mother of two. So my students and my kids actually were like the key for me to understand I have to fight for the future of this generation. So it's them, it's like their questions that brought me here. And now, as I said before, it's their perspective I try to bring into Parliament. So I always have the youth in mind. Yeah.
So given that, are there any plans to enhance gender equality into STEM fields? Because that's a huge problem that we have to deal with.
It is. And of course, like maybe I can go a bit like back. I'm from Volt, which is a pan-European party, and we are here in the parliament part of the Green Group. So we are fighting for gender equality. We are fighting for more women in, you know, this trend, women in male fields right now. So this is something like we are honestly fighting for. But the majorities in parliament at this time are different. So we are fighting what I do actually experience is like a backlash in all these ideas. It's more like, and it's also women from the right-wing parties who are like, well, don't you think women should stay at home? And you're sitting there and you're like, this is where we are going back to right now. So in my opinion, right now, we actually fight to like freeze the status quo and then go further and fight the backlash right now. And that is what I am like personally so passionate and afraid also about because that's insane.
Yeah, no, it's a huge, crisis.
It is, yes, it is.
Are there any plans towards like, giving resources to smaller countries and reforming their education system, like Cyprus, for example?
Yeah, definitely. Like, as you know, like education, now coming to the educational system, it's not, it doesn't fall under European competence, but I now try to find ways how we as the European Parliament will be able to actually influence also national politics in that way. So that's something we are figuring out now. But yes, this is definitely a goal for us to fund female education in smaller countries. But it doesn't only depend like on the size of the country. I think it's really, for me, it's very important that wherever you live in Europe, you just have the same rights or access to education.
Exactly.
That is the point.
As a member of the Committee on Employment and Social Affairs, are there any plans to like cover the skills gap between niche industries like aerospace and smaller countries?
Absolutely. For that I can say that is like the big thing within the next 5 years. And I do feel that when talking about how like gender equality now is quite hard to reach, but the skills gap you could call, and also gender skills gap, I do think that that is something not quite like not every party is agreeing on that, but a big majority of the parliament, I would say, doesn't agree on it, and also in the ample committee. So yes, we are now getting started to have like initiative reports on exactly that topic, so that we now can actually have studies on what's the situation like and what do we need, because we like for that I can say like most of us discovered that that actually is something we really like to change. Yeah.
Okay, that's great to
Yeah.
hear. Coming from an Irish
Yeah.
perspective. Okay, and my last question is there any action? I know it's like, you know, the start of your term right now, you're still settling
Yes.
in, but is there an idea that you've given or an action that you're particularly proud of?
Proud of, I cannot say that so far, because like as you know, it's like only 3 months, so I haven't achieved like all the goals I want to have been achieving. But if we think about like in 5 years time, what you said, like skill step to really, you know, have been working on that, also right to train for every employee also, and that is very, as I said before, like taking gender mainstreaming into account, like whatever law we do, gender mainstreaming and also youth mainstreaming. That would be something I could then say in 5 years' time, well, I've achieved something. So that would be some goals.
I think those are like pretty ambitious and
I know.
very important goals.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best of luck with your
Thank
term,
you.
and I'm so
Thank you.
glad to have you here.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. It was fun.
It
Thank
was
you.
Thank you.